Hello everybody, welcome to Dude with a Fork. My name is Ken. On today's episode of Ken Cooks Stuff, I'm reaching back to a video I filmed on a cold, wet, rainy weekend in July, and I'm making Cowboy Hot Pot. It's warm, it's delicious, it's sweet, it's savory all at the same time. It really hit the spot. And now that cold weather is here, it's time for recipes like this. And it's also a bit of a budget saver because we're only using 8 ounces of ground beef in this, and this could easily feed 4 people. So let's take a look and get started. Hello everybody, welcome to Dude with a Fork. My name is Ken. On today's episode of Ken Cook Stuff, I'm making a Cowboy Hot Pot. This uses just 8 ounces, half a pound of ground beef. I'm trying to come up with some recipes that take your meat budget and stretch it a little bit, since inflation's kind of crazy right now, and obviously wages are not going to keep up with it. And by the way, it's probably better if we cut back on our meat consumption a little bit. Better for us, better for the planet. So, and this is a really tasty dish, and I'll show you some ways that I've tried to build in some flavor. So let's head over to the table and see what we got. Okay, and here's what we've got to make our Cowboy Hot Pot. This is 8 ounces of ground beef, and what I did was I waited until it was on sale, and I think it was like buy one package, get one half off, and so I weighed it out into 8-ounce portions, put them in my vacuum sealer, and then I smash them out flat. You can see how it's pretty thin. They freeze more quickly and they thaw more quickly, and they take up a lot less space in the refrigerator. So that's our meat. In this bowl I have about 1.5 pounds of potatoes. I might add another one. You know, sometimes when you peel a potato, it might have a bad spot, and then you end up like cutting off part of it. So I will see when I get them all chopped up. I've also got 2 smallish to medium onions. I'm going to chop these really finely. These are not a texture element in the dish. They're a flavor element, so I want to chop them up finely to get as much flavor out of them as possible. I'm also going to use 2 cups of beef broth, and my preferred method is just to get this better than bouillon. And you put 2 teaspoons of this in a glass measuring cup, and then pour 2 cups of water over it, 2 cups of boiling water, and then you have instant beef broth. And this is, I think, this is reduced sodium. Yep. So I'm also going to use 3 or 4 bay leaves, which always add great flavor. I'm going to use some tomato sauce. I'm going to use a packet of this onion soup and dip mix recipe. I think this is the Aldi brand, but I do have a video either coming up before this one or just after this one that shows you how to make this from scratch using things you have in your cupboard. And then the part that makes it Cowboy is I've got a can of whole kernel corn, which I'm not going to drain, and I've got a big can of baked beans, and these are Van Camp's baked beans, original. There's no high fructose corn syrup, there's no preservatives in this, so I'm excited to see if, I haven't had this brand for years, so I'm excited to see if they're still as good. If you can't find the big can like this, you can just use 2 of the little cans. So, I'm going to head over to the stove and start browning up some ground beef, and since that's not real exciting, I'll get there. I'll bring you over when we start throwing other ingredients in. So, see you in a bit. Well, I can see it's going to be that kind of day. I forgot 2 ingredients that are also going to go in here. I've got a couple of organic carrots, which I'm going to scrape and slice up. And I also am going to use about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and I've mentioned this before, Lee & Perrins is the only brand for me. So now our list of ingredients is complete. Okay, so this is our 8 ounces of ground beef that I've cooked up, and even though this is 80-20, it hasn't really given off a lot of fat. I do have a nice bit of browning in there, and you can see there's a little bit of fond down on the bottom of the pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to brown this up a little bit more, and then I have our, if I can quit knocking things together here, I have our finely chopped onions, which I will put in. The moisture from these will release and deglaze that pan, so I will come back in a bit when that has happened. Okay, so here we are. It's been about 5 minutes. I've been cooking over medium-low heat because I've been trying to get some other things done. You can see that these onions have really cooked down quite a bit. So I'm going to go in here right now with my tomato paste, and I just want to get a couple of tablespoons in here. And the reason I'm doing this now
is I want to brown that tomato paste a little bit. You can brown tomato paste and develop the flavor a little bit, and it doesn't take long, believe me. So I'm just going to work this in here, and you can see I have a really nice fond in here, which will add just a ton of amazing flavor. All right, so I've got that mixed up and browned a little bit, and I'm going to go in with my beef broth. And I really like bay leaves, but they can quickly become overpowering, so I'm just going to add 3 large ones. And I have my carrots, which I'm going to add in. Always helps to have things cut up ahead of time. All right, I have forgotten my packet of soup mix, so I will be right back. All right, so it's a good thing actually I forgot the onion soup mix and left it over on the table, because I like to give the carrots a little bit of a head start here. I don't like super firm carrots, and I don't want super mushy potatoes. So I can tell you, this absolutely smells amazing right now. And the only 2 ingredients we really have in here are, that are big flavoring things, are the beef stock and the tomato paste. So, all right, I'm going to add in our onion soup mixture and get that stirred in. And then I've got a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, which is just going to go in. Get every last drop of that in there. That's some up there. How did that happen? All right. So we are building up a huge flavor profile. Oh, I did forget. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper. There we go. And all right, what else have we got? Potatoes. I'm going to add 2 cups of water. And some people might say, well, you've already got dried onions and fresh onions, and then you've got the beef flavoring from the soup mix, and then you have the beef broth, and then you have the ground beef itself. And what I'm trying to do here is build up layers of flavor. So the ground beef tastes beefy, the beef stock tastes beefy, and the beef onion soup mix tastes beefy, but they're different kinds of beefiness. Same thing with the onions. So there's onions in the soup mix that are dried. They have a different flavor profile than the fresh onions. So I am just going to bring this back up to the boil real quick here. And before it does that, I'm just going to reach in here and give this a taste. I'm not adding any salt to this because there's salt in the beef broth, there's salt in the onion soup mix. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness, that's amazing. There's salt in everything that we've added just about, and when we add the baked beans, there will be salt in those as well. So it may turn out that we don't need any salt in this at all. So come on, baby, let's come back up to the boil here. So, well, I'm going to go ahead with our potatoes. And I did not find any bad spots, so I didn't have to cut up any extra. And that's it for right now. Do you remember how many bay leaves I had? I had 3, right? Yep. Okay, so I'll have to be able to fish 3 pieces out of there. So there they are. All right, so I'm going to bring this up to a simmer, put a lid on it, and let it simmer just until all of these vegetables are tender. And we'll be back for that. Okay, and we've been simmering here for about 25 minutes, and the vegetables are tender, and you can tell, listen, when you stir vegetables that are still raw, or raw-ish, I guess, you'll hear them bang against the side of the pot and whatever you're stirring them with. So I am going to go ahead and add our baked beans, and I've been tasting these Van Camps. And I'm adding all the liquid. There's a lot of liquid with these beans. This is baked beans with a lot of liquid in there. So I'm going to add all the liquid. They do have a very strong flavor of molasses. Okay, and there's the corn with all of the liquid. One last kernel. Don't waste anything. I'm also going to add about another half teaspoon of pepper, which is not enough for me, but you know, I'm not everybody. So I'm going to stir that around, and then this is good. I'm just going to bring this back up to temperature. But if you like a slightly thicker, more gravy-like sauce, what I have in this measuring cup here is a 1/4 cup of water and a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And I'm going to give them another quick stir just to make sure they're all incorporated. And I will add that in. And I'll bring this up to temperature and let you see what that looks like when we're finally finished. And I'll try to fish out the bay leaves while I'm at it. So, back when this is done. All right, and here we are. You can see that cornstarch has thickened that just a little bit. That way when you spill it, it doesn't go all over the place because, you know, I tend to spill things. I pulled out a little bowl of this on the side, and I've been sitting here eating this, and it is absolutely amazing. A really good way, because you do have this lovely sauce, to serve this would be over rice or brown rice or possibly quinoa, and that would be super healthy. But I keep banging this because this is a spurtle, by the way. It has these grooves in it, which helps you to stir things, but little bits and pieces get caught in there, and it bothers me. But anyway, I've got a rather special way to serve this that I will show you in a bit. But I have to move my camera out in front of the oven. So back with you in about an hour and a half real time. And we're back. And this is my special way of serving these up. I made some homemade Yorkshire puddings, and listen to that. That's nice and crispy. They're a little darker than I wanted them to be because I'm not used to baking in this oven yet. Probably had a little bit too much grease in the pans too. It's been a while since I've made a proper Yorkshire pudding, but oh yeah, let's just get a dip into that gravy there. Oh my, oh. Oh, that is so amazing. Now, this Cowboy hot pot is probably pretty healthy. There's not a lot of meat in it. It's mostly veg. There's some tomato paste, which gives you antioxidants. There's lots of fiber. And then I make a Yorkshire pudding, which is probably anything but healthy. Oh my gosh. Oh. So there's a good recipe for these on the BBC Good Cooks website. I think I'll try to find it and link it to it. It's fairly foolproof, except when they say 180 degrees C. If you don't have a metric oven, that's at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Probably more like 440. These did get a little darker than I'd like, but they're still good. So I'm just going to get a bite of this carrot here. I only buy organic carrots. Organic produce is really expensive around here, so I usually don't buy it. But organic carrots really do not taste anything at all like regular carrots. These are just sweet and lovely tasting. Here's a bit of potato. Wow. Wow, I cannot say enough good things. Look at the back of that. Look at the back of that Yorkie. Oh my gosh. Look at the bottom. Well, see, that one came out a little bit weird, but Yorkies are supposed to be distinct. So, oh my. Now, I did not add any salt to any of this. Between the beef base, the beef broth, the onion soup mix, the canned baked beans, and the sweet corn, it doesn't really need salt. I find it's plenty salt enough. And there's a sweetness. These baked beans have a nice taste of molasses, which when you just taste the beans, it's like, oh my gosh, molasses. But when it mixes in with everything else, it's just a very pleasant sweetness. Oh my gosh. Well, it's a wet, cloudy, rainy weekend, and this is just the perfect dish for it, even though it's the middle of July. This really, really hits the spot. And these carrots, oh my gosh. This is so good. This is how good this is. I'm not even adding extra black pepper to this. So amazing. Get some more of that Yorkshire pudding in there in that liquid. And this did thicken up just the right amount. That's just about as thick as I envisioned it. So sometimes it's a little hard to tell because with the baked beans, you don't know, are you going to get a can that's 90% beans and 10% extra liquid, or like this can, which was probably 65% beans and 35% liquid. There's a reason I got it cheap, right? Oh. You could do this in the slow cooker. Cook off the beans. Sorry, not the beans. Cook off the meat and the onions and a little bit of the tomato paste. And in a pan, add it to your crock pot or slow cooker. Use the the beef broth to deglaze, and then put the carrots and tomatoes and the extra water and the soup mix in the crock pot, and just let everything cook on low for probably 2-3 hours. The bay leaves would probably be even more pronounced. Oh gosh, this is so good though. Oh, if you try this, oh, this is amazing. So amazing. I highly recommend this. This is getting added to my monthly rotation. So, oh, so good. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. This was a lot of fun to make. This is a pretty amazing dish. People in the United States don't tend to think of adding baked beans to things because they're like, oh, that's sweet. It's like a side dish. But it really does make the difference in this dish. So I hope you try it. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you want to see more recipes like this. You can hit the bell to get notified when new videos do come out, because I'm not getting them out quite as often as I would like. I've had some technical issues, which I think I'm finally getting worked around. But as always, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a great week, and power to the proletariat. See you next time.